Hi, welcome back. This is Chikudun from the Seal Farms. Today we're going to be dealing with litter management. Essentially, litter management is ensuring that your birds get the best surface to exist on. The objective of litter management is to ensure that your litter is as dry as possible. And to achieve this, you need proper ventilation and removal of wet spots or dirty spots or caked areas of litter. Essentially, what is litter? Litter is your wood shavings or your sawdust plus the waste from your birds, plus including their poo, their feathers, feed that has fallen out of the feeders. So all of this will constitute your litter. So when you hear litter, it just simply means you have sawdust or wood shavings and you have all of this stuff on it. At that point, it becomes litter. Imagine living in a place that you spend 100% of your life. Imagine that this place is filthy, wet, smelly, and you are inhaling all sorts of gases 6 inches from your nose. This is what poor litter does to your birds. Litter is their bed, is their bathroom, is their ground they pick food from, is their living room, their entertainment room, their meeting room. Essentially, the condition of your litter determines how well your birds are living. So litter management is essential. In fact, next to air and water, before feed, I'll consider litter management as the next most important thing in broiler production. There's one area almost all farmers I have seen are not doing well in. It's litter management. 95% of the farms I have visited are doing a very poor job of litter management. And that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of coccidiosis and a lot of CRD, all the coughing and respiratory diseases our birds have. Now, it's basic hygiene. Your ammonia from the litter is not good for them. So when you have a dirty ground, like you have a pool and you have your wood shavings and then it's wet, it produces ammonia. Your birds are living sometimes 6 inches to 1 foot away from the ground, and that's not good for them. So you must use adequate wood shavings for a litter. I use about 3 inches. I'll say you get a tape and make sure you have 3 inches of litter. And you remove wet spots to avoid coccidiosis. If you start seeing flies, it's time to change your litter. If you start smelling ammonia, it's time to change your litter. You have to find ways to get cheap litter or cheaper litter. Using wood shavings for at least the first 4 weeks, and then you can change to sawdust because sawdust is free. And as they get older, they need to change litter more often because they produce more waste. And so being able to find cheap or cheaper litter as they age is essential. You have to keep the litter dry to prevent it from caking. The litter may be turned with a rake once in a while, and normally suggest you do that like 2 times a week. Again, wet spots around drinkers should be attended to immediately. And in areas where the birds congregate the most, you're going to notice that they have areas they like to stay in for whatever reason most of the time. Those areas are usually the worst places when it comes to litter. The other issue is, what can you use for litter? There are different materials you can use for litter. One is wood shavings, like I said before. Second is sawdust. The third is straw. Now, the fourth is paper. It's not as good, even though shredded paper can be used, at least on a temporary basis. But it doesn't absorb as good as sawdust or wood shavings. You can use peanut hulls. You can use rice husk. Even though if you use rice husk, there's a tendency they might want to eat some of it. Sand is not a good litter base. Purpose of litter: protect birds from dirt, damp, and cold floor. That's number one. That's why I said you have to give about 3 inches, especially when they're much younger, so that the coldness of the floor will not affect them. It helps to conserve heat and moisture. It helps provide comfort for your birds. The litter reduces ammonia production and bacterial challenge. and it improves food part quality. It helps maintain healthy floor moisture. So these are the things that a good litter will do for you. Litter, as I said earlier, is organic waste produced by poultry, mixed and spilled feed, feathers, and the litter base, which is usually wood shavings or sawdust. There's something I've seen lately, which is this tendency to use papers and cartons for extended periods of time. I would suggest you not to use cartons for a number of reasons. One, the cartons are not hygienic. You don't know where they came from. Secondly, the cartons are not good absorbing materials. They don't absorb moisture as well as wood shavings or sawdust. So using the cartons, you tend to create bigger problems. You tend to create problems that will help spread bacteria. And that's one of the things you don't want. So avoid using cartons, avoid using newspapers, especially for any extended length of time. I suggest, especially in the first week, that you get, they have what they call brooding papers now. They are very easy to use, they are reasonable, and I suggest you use that. Talking about the cartons, be very careful about trendy things that are not backed up with scientific studies. I've not seen any scientific study that tells you that using cartons is a good base for litter. Now, the goals of good litter management is to provide comfortable bedding for your beds. Number two, to reduce the effect that litter, moisture, and ammonia have on the environmental control systems. Number three, litter conditions set the tone for air quality, heating, and ventilation throughout the life of the beds. Good litter sets the stage for success in broiler production. In fact, good litter is, as you know, the goal of broiler production to produce, the first goal of broiler production, apart from keeping them healthy, is to produce very good 7-day weight. The condition of your litter is critical to achieving that great 7-day weight. The end weight of your broilers or your sources of failure in broiler production depends greatly on how good your 7-day weight is. In 7 days, you are aiming for 200 grams or more. Anything less than that is not good. So you're going to achieve 3 kg of live weight of a broilers in 6 weeks. You must have at least 200 grams 7-day weight. What is the effect of poor litter management? Number one, poor litter will result in coryza. Your beds will have coryza with poor litter. In fact, coryza is a bacterial infection. Coryza is the number one evidence that you have poor litter management. So whenever you have coryza, just know the first thing you do is change your litter. And it's just 100% evidence that you're not managing your litter well. Number two is coccidiosis. If you have poor litter, you're going to have coccidiosis. That's a guarantee. Number three is chronic respiratory disease, which is CRD. The ammonia from poor litter is going to stress your beds, irritate your beds, and will help result in not just CRD, but other respiratory diseases, including infectious bronchitis. Your beds will have E. coli, which also results in cough, and other diseases. So you have also poor litter management or dirty litter reduces the immunity of your beds. And once the immunity of your beds are reduced or compromised, there is an invitation for them to get sick. Other diseases will come on. So it's really, really critical that you maintain good litter management. What can you use litter for? It can be burned and used as a source of heat or energy. You can serve as animal feed for pigs and fish. It can be sold as an aerobic digester to be made into biofuel. So these are things you can use litter for. Of course, you can use it as manure for gardening. How to manage litter properly? The first thing you have to do is regularly stir litter by raking periodically. As I said before, 2 times a week is not a bad idea. You remove cake litter so as soon as they are discovered. If you see any wet litter, don't let it stay for a minute longer. It becomes imperative, because what you notice with your birds is anytime there's wet litter, that's where they want to go and eat and scratch and drink from. And that's not good. You have to maintain good ventilation to maintain good litter. So again, your heating and ventilation comes in. And as I keep telling farmers, a lot of things you do in broiler production are interrelated. There's not one great thing you're going to do to make your broilers perform. Most people spend all their time worrying about feed. Quite frankly, feed is one of the things I don't worry much about. If you get the other little things, your water quality, your heating and ventilation, your litter management, your biosecurity, if you get all these things right, feed will not matter as much. You have to maintain good density. And good density will be 1 bed for 2 square feet and above. Anything less than that is overcrowding. And most of you know we're in a tropical zone. Most of us don't have air conditioned or air controlled buildings. So you have to worry about heat stress, especially when the birds get older. So stocking 1 bed for every 2 square feet or 3 square feet, at least nothing less than 2 square feet for 1 bed, is a good indication of good density. As I said earlier, put 2 to 3 inches of wood shavings. And if you vaccinate your birds for coccidiosis, you do not remove the entire litter for the first 30 days. You can spread the litter and add new ones to refreshen it, but do not remove the litter for the entire litter until day 30. After day 30, remove all litter every 3 to 7 days, depending on how the litter looks. If you have gained anything from this material, please share and subscribe.